Day 70, read the Bible in a year. Deuteronomy 1 and 2. Deuteronomy 1. These are the words which Moses spoke to all Israel beyond the Jordan in the wilderness, in the Arabah opposite Suph, between Paran, Tophel, Laban, Hazeroth, and Dizahab. It is 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir to Kadesh Barnea. In the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, Moses spoke to the children of Israel, according to all that the Lord had given him in commandment to them. After he had struck Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth at Edrei, beyond the Jordan in the land of Moab, Moses began to declare this law, saying, "The Lord our God spoke to us in Horeb, saying, You have lived long enough at this mountain. Turn and take your journey and go to the hill country of the Amorites and to all the places near there, in the Arabah, in the hill country, in the lowland, in the south, by the seashore, in the land of the Canaanites, and in Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates. I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give to them and to their offspring after them. I spoke to you at that time, saying, I'm not able to bear you myself alone. The Lord your God has multiplied you, and behold, you are today as the stars of the sky for multitude. May the Lord, the God of your fathers, make you 1,000 times as many as you are, and bless you, as he has promised you. How can I myself alone bear your problems, your burdens, and your strife? Take wise men of understanding who are respected among your tribes, and I will make them heads over you. You answered me and said, The thing which you have spoken is good to do. So I took the heads of your tribes, wise and respected men, and made them heads over you, captains of thousands, captains of hundreds, captains of 50, captains of tens, and officers, according to your tribes. I commanded your judges at that time, saying, Hear cases between your brothers, and judge righteously between a man and his brother, and the foreigner who is living with him. You shall not show partiality in judgment. You shall hear the small and the great alike. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's. The case that is too hard for you, you shall bring to me, and I will hear it. I commanded you at that time all the things which you should do. We traveled from Horeb and went through all that great and terrible wilderness which you saw, by the way to the hill country of the Amorites, as the Lord our God commanded us, and we came to Kadesh Barnea. I said to you, You have come to the hill country of the Amorites, which the Lord our God gives to us. Behold, the Lord your God has set the land before you. Go up, take possession, as the Lord, the God of your fathers, has spoken to you. Don't be afraid, neither be dismayed. You came near to me, every one of you, and said, Let's send men before us, that they may search the land for us, and bring back to us word of the way by which we must go up, and the cities to which we shall come. The thing pleased me well. I took 12 of your men, 1 man for every tribe. They turned and went up into the hill country, and came to the valley of Eshcol, and spied it out. They took some of the fruit of the land in their hands, and brought it down to us, and brought us word again, and said, It is a good land which the Lord our God gives to us. Yet you wouldn't go up, but rebelled against the commandment of the Lord your God. You murmured in your tents and said, Because the Lord hated us, he has brought us out of the land of Egypt to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us. Where are we going up? Our brothers have made our hearts melt, saying, The people are greater and taller than we. The cities are great and fortified, up to the sky. Moreover, We have seen the sons of Anakim there. Then I said to you, don't be terrified. Don't be afraid of them. The Lord your God, who goes before you, he will fight for you, according to all that he did for you in Egypt, before your eyes, and in the wilderness, where you have seen how that the Lord your God carried you as a man carries his son, in all the way that you went until you came to this place. Yet, in this thing, you didn't believe the Lord your God, who went before you on the way to seek out a place for you to pitch your tents in fire by night, to show you by way which way you should go, and in the cloud by day. The Lord heard the voice of your words and was angry, and swore, saying, surely not one of these men of this evil generation shall see the good land which I swore to give to your fathers, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. He shall see it. I will give the land that he has trodden on to him and to his children, because he has wholly followed the Lord. Also the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, saying, you also shall not go in there. Joshua the son of Nun, who stands before you, shall go in there. Encourage him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit it. Moreover, your little ones, whom you said would be captured or killed, your children, who today have no knowledge of good or evil, shall go in there. I will give it to them, and they shall possess it. But as for you, turn and take your journey into the wilderness by the way to the Red Sea. Then you answered and said to me, we have sinned against the Lord. We will go up and fight according to all that the Lord our God commanded us. Every man of you put on his weapons of war and presumed to go up into the hill country. The Lord said to me, tell them, don't go up and don't fight, for I am not among you, or else you will be struck before your enemies. So I spoke to you, and you didn't listen, but you rebelled against the commandment of the Lord and were presumptuous, and went up into the hill country. The Amorites who lived in that hill country came out against you and chased you, as bees do, and beat you down in Seir, even to Hormah. You returned and wept before the Lord. But the Lord didn't listen to your voice, nor turn his ear to you. So you stayed in Kadesh many days, according to the days that you remained.
Deuteronomy chapter 2. Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness, by the way to the Red Sea, as the Lord spoke to me, and we circled Mount Seir many days. The Lord spoke to me, saying, you have encircled the mountain long enough. Turn northward. Command the people, saying, you are to pass through the border of your brothers, the children of Esau, who dwell in Seir, and they will be afraid of you. Therefore, be careful. Do not contend with them, for I will not give you any of their land. No, not so much as for the sole of your foot to tread on, because I have given Mount Seir to Esau for possession. You shall purchase food from them for money, that you may eat. You shall also buy water from them for money, that you may drink. For the Lord your God has blessed you in all the work of your hands. He has known your walking through this great wilderness. These 40 years, the Lord your God has been with you. You have lacked nothing. So we passed by from our brothers, the children of Esau, who dwell in Seir, from the way of the Arabah, from Elath, and from Ezion-Geber. We turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. The Lord said to me, don't bother Moab, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give you any of his land for possession, because I have given Ar to the children of Lot for possession. The Emim lived there before, a great and numerous people, as tall as the Anakim. These also are considered to be Rephaim, as the Anakim, but the Moabites call them Emim. The Horites also lived in Seir in the past, but the children of Esau succeeded them. They destroyed them from before them and lived in their place, as Israel did to the land of his possession, which the Lord gave to them. Now rise up and cross over the brook Zered. We went over the brook Zered the days in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we had come over the brook Zered were 38 years, until all the generation of the men of war were consumed from the middle of the camp, as the Lord swore to them. Moreover, the Lord's hand was against them, to destroy them from the middle of the camp until they were consumed. So, when all the men of war were consumed and dead from among the people, the Lord spoke to me, saying, You are to pass over the border of Moab today. When you come near the border of the children of Ammon, don't bother them, nor contend with them, for I will not give you any of the land of the children of Ammon for a possession, because I have given it to the children of Lot for a possession. That is also considered a land of Rephaim. Rephaim lived there in the past, but the Ammonites called them Zamzumim. A great people, many as tall as the Anakim, but the Lord destroyed them from before Israel. And they succeeded them and lived in their place, as he did for the children of Esau who dwell in Seir, whom he destroyed the Horites from before them. And they succeeded them and lived in their place even to this day. Then the Avim, who lived in the villages as far as Gaza, the Caphtorim, who came out of Caphtor, destroyed them and lived in their place. Rise up, take your journey, and pass over the valley of the Arnon. Behold, I have given into your hand Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to possess it, and contend with him in battle. Today I will begin to put the dread of you and the fear of you on the peoples who are under the whole sky, who shall hear the report of you and shall tremble and be in anguish because of you. I sent messengers out of the wilderness of Kedemoth to Sihon king of Heshbon with words of peace, saying, Let me pass through your land. I will go along by the highway. I will turn neither to the right nor to the left. You shall sell me food for money, that I may eat, and give me water for money, that I may drink. Just let me pass through on my feet. As the children of Esau who dwell in Seir, and the Moabites who dwell in Ar, did to me, until I pass over the Jordan into the land which the Lord our God gives us. But Sihon, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass by. For the Lord your God hardened his spirit, and made his heart obstinate, that he might deliver him into your hand. As it is today, the Lord said to me, Behold, I have begun to deliver up Sihon and his land before you. Begin to possess, that you may inherit this land. Then Sihon came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Jahaz. The Lord our God delivered him up before us, and we struck him, his sons and all his people. We took all his cities at that time and utterly destroyed every inhabited city. With the women and the little ones, we left no one remaining. Only the livestock we took for plunder for ourselves. With the plunder of the cities, which we have taken from Aror, which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and the city that is in the valley even to Gilead, there was not a city too high for us. The Lord our God delivered us up, all before us. Only to the land of the children of Ammon you didn't come near. All the banks of the river Jabbok and the cities of the hill country, and wherever the Lord our God forbade us.
That really made me think about how God sees everything. He knows what people are thinking. He created mankind, so he knows what somebody's going to do. He knows the power of certain groups of people, and he knows what we're capable of. And so he just says, listen to me because I know, like, trust me because I know what's going on. And what I see here is the Israelites were told to do certain things. First of all, there's a reminder of how they didn't listen. They ended up wandering and, not listening to God, and then he got angry and there was a consequence. So there's the reminder of that. But then there's all these battles. He says, don't go into battle, you're going to lose. And I just thought, how many times has that happened to myself or to just mankind in general, where God has told us through the scriptures, don't do this, you're going to get hurt. And then what do? Well, we put our little finger or toe in the water, and then our foot, and then our leg. I mean, we push it. Human nature is to push it as far as we can until, boom, we fall flat on our face. And I think that this is what it reminds me of when I see this, is how many times do we have to fall flat on our face before we just know and trust God?
True.
To say, okay, you know what? God knows better than me. I'm just going to do what he's saying, because I just don't want to fall flat on my face anymore. Yeah. So this is what I get out of that.
I think you're right. I don't know. If I was understanding correctly, when they first spied out the land, they were afraid of the people of the land. God would have taken care of it, but it looks like they went into the wilderness for 40 years, and God took care of those tall, strong people by displacing them by other peoples. I don't know exactly, but God had a plan from the very beginning. Like you said, He's omnipresent. He knows what's going to happen, when and where. He knew, I think, that people were going to be stubborn and would have to be trained for 40 years in the wilderness. And he brought up a way to take care of the land that they're going to possess. And Moses is reminding them, don't be stubborn like your ancestors. God is with you. He's taking care of you, and he will take care of you.
Yeah, either it was that he had planned it before, or that because he does know everything, or that it was a response of, to what they did, because he wanted to prepare. He wanted to make sure that they were going to be okay when they got to that land as well. So I also see how he just is, even in our mistakes and stupidity, in our rebelliousness, there's times where we will get punished. There's times where it's going to be extremely severe because of what we've done. And then there's times where God is going to have grace. I guess it depends on what it is that we've done. I'm not too sure. But what I do know is that there was times where they went and did something, and then they went back and cried to God. And he's like, I'm not listening to you. I told you not to do that. He says that he just wasn't going to listen.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we think, we can just go back to God anytime. As human beings, there is a time when it's too late. That's death. We don't know when we're going to die.
Yeah, true.
And I'll go and follow God later on. I'll trust him later on in my life. But boom, our life could be gone in 1 hour.
No, it's true. I was just thinking as you were talking, how many times with us and our children did we say, don't do this or don't do that? And then they would come hurt and crying. And we're like, you don't want to say, I told you so, but we still love them and care for them and protect them. But we have to learn from our mistakes. As human beings, God has given us very specific directions in our lives. We have to learn from the mistakes and learn to trust God.
And this is the thing, is that he gives us every single opportunity. What I see here is over and over again is a gracious God. I used to look at the Old Testament as just a lot of war and hate and severity. But what I'm seeing really is the grace and mercy and love of God. He is just trying to direct the Israelites in a way and in a direction where they can ultimately have a relationship, a lasting, eternal relationship with him.
True.
But if they go off the path, if they do their own thing, then it's not just going to affect their life on earth, but it affects their relationship with him for an eternity.
Yes, true.
And so he's trying over and over again to compel them, to help them to understand that he is God, that he wants to have a relationship with them, and that the things that they're going to do, that they have done, hurts them and ultimately hurts their relationship with him. So I see him directing them, and sometimes it's with kindness and mercy, and sometimes it's with punishment, just like we have to have consequences for our children. Otherwise, they'd be these spoiled, rebellious kids. So I see it as God has created us to have the same characteristics as him, how we treat our children, even though it's not even as good as how God treats us. We can understand and relate to what he's doing.
Yeah, ultimately, God is a loving God, not a punishing God. He's doing things because he loves us. So true.
But like us, we allow our children to make their own choices at a certain age. We let them go free. You make your own choices, and we hope that we've done the best that we have as we're raising them, so that they make some wise choices. But ultimately, at that point, it's up to them.
Yeah.
And in the same way, God allows us to make the choices. We can choose to follow him or not, but there's always consequences to both. However, he wants to put us in a situation so that we make the right choice
So
for
true.
him.
See you again next time.